Do you want to move to the Netherlands but don't know where to begin?
1 year ago, we were definitely in the same shoes as we moved ourselves and our cats from America to the Netherlands in just 30 days. In today's video, we're counting down the 9 most important things you need to prepare for when you're moving to the Netherlands, from the day you make the decision to the day you arrive. Goedemiddag and welcome back. We made this video as a helpful guide for those of you planning to move to the Netherlands or just planning on moving abroad in general. Let's dive right into the list and then we'll talk a little bit about what we're up to today. Here's something we didn't really do, but had we done it, it would have given us a huge advantage during the housing shortage. Number 9. Visit the Netherlands before moving to the Netherlands. If you haven't already, visit the Netherlands and be sure to visit outside the city of Amsterdam. We know this might not always be possible, especially if you're moving for work. It's always a good idea to understand what your daily life is going to be like outside of vacation mode. This really allows you to see other cities in the country, and each neighborhood is going to have its own feel and character, and you can get a good idea of where you want to live inside of each city. It might not always be the one that sounds best on paper. For example, is being close to a train station important, or shopping, or restaurants, or do you want to live in a quiet area? When we planned our move, we had very little idea of what we were doing, and we relied a lot on the internet for a bunch of information. So we're hoping this guide is going to be helpful for those of you who are in the exact same position that we were a year ago. Our list is going to count down everything that you need to think about from the time you actually make the decision to move to your very first day here in the Netherlands. We're going to finish up our list as we take y'all along on our day with us, and right now we need to head out to Dutch language class, so let's get going.
All right, next up, this is the one that we think people often forget about in the stress of a big move. Number 8.
Research cities to live in, instead of just living in the ones that everyone's familiar with, like Rotterdam or Amsterdam. You might think that you're limited by the city that your job is in, but the Netherlands has a fantastic train network, and your commute from one city to another might be less time than your current car commute within the city you live in right now. Each city in the Netherlands is very unique and has its own vibe. If you have the freedom to pick which city you can live in, take the time to research cities. Think about whether you want to live in a city that has a large expat population, or if you want to live in a city where your goal will be to make friends with the locals. By the way, our channel is all about exploring the Netherlands and would be a great place to begin your research. We'll link a playlist in the description with all of our city vlogs.
And next, this is something that we took full advantage of and we're really happy we did. Number 7. Use an immigration attorney and a real estate agent. While the process of moving to the Netherlands under the DAFT visa is not complicated, using an immigration attorney can keep you on track and really ensure that you aren't missing anything in the process. Having that security, knowing you're doing everything that's required of you, really frees up your mental space to take on other tasks that you need in order to move. Also, we recommend using a real estate agent, or in Dutch, a makelaar, especially if you're renting once you move here. An agent can not only help find properties, but they can also present your application to the owner of the place in the best way possible.
Well, that was a great Dutch class.
Yeah, we learned something very important.
She doesn't remember what we learned.
Yes, I do. How to order.
We did.
Restaurants and shops. This is going to be a game changer, I think.
Yeah, how to order politely and then also how to pay.
Yeah. Ugh. And how to answer that question of, do you need a bag?
Yeah.
Do you need a receipt?
We're still very much on the basics, but it feels like every time we attend a class that we're actually learning something tangible that we can start putting into place immediately.
Yeah.
All right, what were we at on our list?
Number 6.
Number 6. Oh yeah, this is the one that we can't stress enough. Number 6.
Find a place to live before you get here. It really is ideal to secure permanent or at least 3 to 6 months worth of temporary housing before you arrive in the country. When you arrive, you have 90 days to get your residence permit, and in order to do that, you need an address to register at, and you won't be able to do this at most hotels or Airbnbs.
We are at Pasar Malam in Dordrecht, which translates to night market in Indonesian. This market runs for 4 days from noon to around 8 p.m. each day. Similar events are held all around the Netherlands, but this one here in Dordrecht is the largest free Pasar Malam. It's a celebration of all things Indonesian, so lots of music, dancing, and tons of food. Today is the last day for the event here in Dordrecht, and we're starting off by eating our favorite thing. Yes, we've been here more than one day.
Goedemiddag. Ik wil graag een broodje rendang en een bintang. We went to Happy Indo Food Supply. I'm not exactly sure what the situation is here. I think a lot of them are caterers. As Michelle mentioned, we've had numerous times at this point, and it is incredible. It's absolutely delicious. This bread is so crispy, and this like vinegary sauce on it is just awesome. And the rendang is just super tender, braised beef. And that little cucumber makes the whole thing just super healthy. Adds a little bit of a nice like cold crisp to the sandwich. It's actually fitting that we picked our favorite thing at the market because the next topic is about our least favorite thing. All the paperwork that you need to complete before you move here to the Netherlands. Number 6.
Make sure to get all of your documents apostilled. In order to move to the Netherlands, there's a bit of paperwork that you'll need, and some of that paperwork needs to get apostilled, which is a fancy term for your local government certifying that it's real. You'll need your birth certificate and your marriage license if you're married, and or a divorce certificate if you're divorced. It's important to get a head start on this because once you send these documents off, it's kind of a black hole as to when you'll get them back.
Oh, and by the way, if you have pets, you're going to need some paperwork for them too, which brings us to number 4.
Get your pets' documents in order too. If you're moving your pets to the Netherlands with you, which if you have pets, you probably should, there's a very specific process to move them. It also requires lead time, especially if your pets aren't up to date on their vaccines or microchipped. The main point here is as soon as you decide to move, call your vet and let them know. You don't necessarily need to begin the process right then, but you'll need to know if your vet is USDA certified because that's the only type of vet that can complete the paperwork that you need.
It's probably a good time to mention kids. If you have kids, they'll probably be moving with you too, and there's a lot in terms of researching and enrolling kids into school that we just didn't have to do because we don't have kids.
Just cats.
They're not in school yet.
We've moved on to the plate meal, which seems to be the more common thing to get here. And we got the bami goreng vegetarian version, which has noodles, a little bit of cabbage, some green beans and an egg. And then I think this is like a tofu cabbage situation. Let's give it a try. A+. One of the biggest hurdles we had to cross when moving here was figuring out what to do with all of our stuff. Number 3.
To ship or not to ship? That is the question. We've mentioned this in numerous videos, but we really encourage you to get rid of as much of your stuff as humanly possible. It's extremely expensive to ship things, and we shipped a very small portion of our things, and it cost a small fortune. Also, realize that your home in the Netherlands will likely look different than your current home, and all of your furniture may not fit in either physically or aesthetically. And if you have anything that you feel like you really want to keep, we might suggest putting that in a storage unit for a year or two, coming back to it, and then at that point you're going to have a better idea of if it's something you actually missed or not.
You can also put it in your parents' basement. Well, unfortunately, the record store was a bust. I came in and looked for a few things that I thought would be in stock, and they unfortunately were not.
Before you leave your home country, there might be a few things you want to bring with you to make the transition a bit easier. Number 2.
Get 90 days of any prescription that you might have. This isn't to say that it's difficult to get your prescription filled here, but it's nice to not have to worry about it immediately after moving. And it allows you some time to find a GP. Also, get any skincare brands or makeup brands that you love, especially if you have sensitive skin. You might not be able to find them here, or the formulation might be different. Also, many brands that you can find here are sometimes twice as expensive as they are in the US. So do the research and bring extras with you, again, so this gives you the time to find new products that will work for you.
I have extremely sensitive skin, and finding products here that work for me was something that I really underestimated.
And after all that planning, the last thing that you need to plan for is...
Number 1, make arrangements for your arrival. Odds are your flight is going to arrive at an off time, either late at night or early in the morning, and after a big travel day, we really recommend booking a hotel room somewhere close by. We booked a night at the Schiphol Hilton, which allows for pets for an additional fee, and it was probably the best decision we've ever made. We ate, we slept a lot, and we recharged, and we were ready to make the trip to Rotterdam the next day.
Thanks for sticking around to the end of our list. We hope this was helpful for you if you're thinking about moving to the Netherlands or really any country. If you want to learn more about how much it costs for us to live in the Netherlands, then maybe watch this video next. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Doei!
Doei!